Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. I have to remember not to speak so quickly because yet again we have another breaking news day from Trump's childish letter where he tells the Turkish president not to be a tough guy through to the Turkish president Erdogan refusing to meet with Mike Pence and Mike Pompeo, who have been dispensed to Turkey to try and talk tough to Turkey about their invasion of Syria, through to the Russians who have now occupying the American camps after American soldiers vacated them. Might add that American soldiers bitterly disappointed with having to leave their allies, the Kurds, in the position that Trump put them in, through to the vote in the House condemning Turkey's invasion, where I think it was 120-something Republicans voted with the Democrats to condemn the Turkish move into Syria. We even had Lindsey Graham in the corridors suggesting that any idea that Russia, who is now moving wholesale into holding the geopolitical influence in Syria, which is replacing American influences. And of course, ISIS now being reignited, the threat of ISIS now being free to, after a decade of trying to suppress them, handing all of that so-called policing over to Russia, Syria and Turkey and Iran, and expecting them to be the good guys and this not to backfire on the US. All of these things are coming forward in rapid fire. And of course, we've got the impeachment of Trump, the impeachment inquiry of Donald Trump. Again, witnesses from the State Department coming forward, very highly valued staff, advisors, diplomats, very experienced diplomats. They're saying that they are being stopped from doing their job, that they are being cornered and restricted, and this shadow policy instead is taking over. Now, we get back to the critical point here, and for anyone who supports Donald Trump, don't bother staying here because I don't. Don't bother leaving comments about your bias. Yes, I am. This is a president who appears repeatedly, and it's accelerating repeatedly to do to fulfill Russian interests and agendas, as well as a financial interest of his own and his allies in America, Trump's allies in America. So they're the two things from where I sit that I can see. Let's have a look at an update on Syria, and then we'll go to Brexit, which that October 31st deadline is looming. I think the EU is saying that there could be a deal. The UK is pulling back and saying, well, hang on a minute, not so quick. This is all brinkmanship. This is all the negotiations being reflected. We'll see how close they are to getting a deal and if they're going to get a deal. And then we'll move to Canada elections. I think they're on the 19th, of October. Former President Obama has come out and I think he's still called a president. I'm not sure of your protocols, but Obama has come out and thrown his support behind Justin Trudeau. That election is going to be very close, according to my readings. It is vitally important, which is why Obama also threw his endorsement to Emmanuel Macron, because I read today that the opposition leader, Andrew Scheer, one of his staffers worked for Trump. So we've got this populist spread. If we've got time, I'd like to see how involved Bannon is in Canada right now. But first to the absolute, and of course there's been the meltdown where Trump insulted Speaker of the House Pelosi, and she and Schumer and Hoyer actually left the meeting, stormed out of the meeting. I think Trump called Pelosi a third-rate politician. Well, I would say there's a little bit of projection going on there. I wouldn't even call Trump third-rate. Okay, let's go to Syria. What I want to know is was Trump basically told to do what he did? Was Trump doing Putin's bidding in pulling the troops out and giving Turkey the green light to invade Syria? Was spoils of war? That's what I'm getting. The spoils of war. It wouldn't have been just Putin's agenda. It would have been the Erdogan's agenda as well. And Syria, of course, Assad is also there in the mix, having to I guess combine or ally with Russia and Turkey, almost. Well, not so much Turkey, but Russia. So let's and the Kurds. Let's have a look at was Trump doing Putin's bidding? Was Trump doing Putin's bidding? Okay, the Four of Rods. So that's the Democrats, but it's also a reunion of a family, ties that bind, a celebration. So coming together in some sort of a reunion. Challenged by the Ace of Pentacles. So in this we have hidden money. I'm using the Anna Kay Tarot, hidden money that you have to actually really dig. So to me, this deck is almost ironically saying that the challenge for Trump was what's buried in the past could well be the money trail. Four of Cups, this is a belligerence, but it's also a disappointment and almost having your back to the wall. So this comes forward a lot. This card comes forward a lot with Trump when he's pushed into something that he doesn't want to do. He will fold his arms and say, "I'm not doing it." So whatever he may have been doing Putin, or perhaps doing Putin's bidding, well, one way or another, directly or indirectly, we know that Trump sides with Putin's agenda. So let's just put the full stop there, period. Okay, so, but this is also Trump, his allies, and I keep saying this, his allies aren't the US's allies. He feels he doesn't trust anybody within the US, and particularly the Democrats. The challenge for any victory for Trump or any union is, of course, his past and his past money trail. He was never going to be the president that would act for everybody. He was never even going to be the president that would act for his base. Trump is acting for himself, and he's pushing back as well. It's almost as if you can imagine a family. I guess the mob is a family, and you're then in a position where you're supposed to be acting for the enemies of the mob. What are you going to do? Your ideology, you're opposed to the those that aren't in the mob. So for Trump, it's all about the money, and it's all about what's hidden and what could the Ace of Pentacles, new income sources. He was never ever going to act in the best interests of America, and we know that. But the other thing that's causing him to cross his arms is this impeachment inquiry and do reckless things. Now, I know that Liz Cheney, what an idiot thing she is, actually said this. She said it's the Democrats' fault because they pushed Trump with the impeachment inquiry and they led him to do something ill thought out. In a way, she got the second part right, not the first part. The second part is that he is absolutely furious around the impeachment inquiry. He's furious, he's scared, he's fearful, he's paranoid. You know, where everything that a narcissist and perhaps even a sociopath might be when their house is under attack and being threatened in the way that Trump is facing complete and utter ruin and perhaps even jail time. In the sky, we've got the lawmakers. Now, when I read before on Syria, I said the lawmakers were going to come through with a very so let's forget Trump's, we're going to do sanctions and I can cripple this country. Just take him out of the equation altogether. What this shows me is the speed and the alacrity when those lawmakers returned to Congress. They step forward and they're on the charge. Now, this I do believe Pelosi is saying that this was, she's quite intuitive because I think she got it right. Trump's meltdown today or yesterday when they were in that meeting was in a direct response to the Republicans voting in the way they did. The big question is what are the senators going to do? The immediate future, we've got justice. It begs the question if they're so upset on what has happened to the US foreign policy, the ceding over of influence in the Middle East to Russia. What else are they going to do? I think as I said, don't assume the Republicans won't desert Trump. Right now, we've got the hanged man. We've got things not moving forward nor backwards. So we're almost in the eye of the storm. So we've had Turkey marching with its troops. We've had the atrocities. We've had the war crimes, the bombings of the hospitals, the murdering of a Kurdish opposition member of their shadow government, pulled out of a car, raped and murdered. Absolutely, that one really affected me. We've had all these atrocities, and now we're in the middle. What's brewing here in the eye of the storm? The environment that has brought up is death. Okay, so. To me, these two cards are talking about the atrocities that Turkey has committed in moving into invading Syria. They want to resettle in that buffer zone. They're wanting to resettle Arabs, so that's why they're driving the Kurds away. So it is a resettlement exercise. It's not a shoring up of one's borders. This is also about territory and influence and extending borders. So we can see Assad being beholden to Russia. And of course, then we look at if we've got an axis there with Russia, Turkey, and Iran, and Syria potentially, where does that leave Saudi Arabia? So, and Israel. It's not, with the Americans getting out of the Middle East, it's a disaster. It is an absolute disaster. Okay, so the Nine of Pentacles, hopes and fears. It's funny the Nine of Pentacles would come up. This is around monetary, having enough finances, money to be independent, financial resources. So we've got, I think, around 500,000 refugees now. I haven't checked on that number from a couple of days ago. But to me, we're going to be seeing a humanitarian crisis there. We do have the Star of Hope, and that is linking with the King of Rods. And I do feel that the Star of Hope is quite important at this time. It's come back. Remember, it came forward with Mueller, and throughout the Mueller investigation, it's come back into the readings now. Only this time, it is for Republicans. It is for Republicans now to hold this president in check, and that's because there are everyone. It's not just Democrats. Everyone now has this level of anxiety about what he's going to do next, and we're talking about Syria here. We're talking about the loss and the deaths, because the Five of Cups is a reaction to generally to death, and it is also, I think this card is quite symbolic of what's going on in Syria. So I do feel that we look now, even though the horse is, bolted out of the gates, Trump has given that green light. I do feel that the King of Rods represents the lawmakers. Now, I'm not saying that they can make up for this, but what I'm saying is they're not going to take this lying down. I hope. Let's see what the senators will do, because Schumer put that very aptly when he said we need to have a look at what Mitch, he didn't call him Moscow Mitch, Mitch McConnell will do in the Senate in relation to this. Now, Lindsey Graham has come out being this was the line that Lindsey Graham couldn't cross, and Trump now is attacking Lindsey Graham. So, if you're on Twitter, you'll see that I think the general view is Lindsay will kiss and make up with Trump. He'll basically just fall back in line, but not so fast, I don't think. Let's have a look at the Senate, because my feeling is that somebody at some point is going to send a resounding message to Trump that he can't do this. That was what I felt in my last reading when I said Congress is going to take some action. Let's have a look. So who are the allies? Who are the allies internally now? That's the question. Where does everybody stand in all of this? Where do Trump's allies stand? Where do Republicans stand? Because that's the tipping point. All right, is the Senate going to hold Trump accountable for giving Turkey? I'm just going to keep saying it over and over again. Giving Turkey the green light to invade Syria and massacre Kurds. Is the Senate? Are those Republican senators going to hold Trump accountable for giving Turkey the green light to invade Syria, extend its borders, and massacre Kurds? Okay, what are those senators going to do? What are those senators going to do? Okay, it's around, this is not a monarchy, this is a republic, okay? That's the image that I got. I got the image of the monarchy. Okay, the Chariot. So I do feel the senators will come forward. I'm going out on a bit of a limb here, but at this point in time with this Chariot, I feel that this is something that's going to get away from Trump. That Tower card there was in the past. This is something of his own making. The challenge is the Page of Rods. Now this is again somebody that's it's in the challenge. Look at that. The Chariot, the force or the intensity or the significance of the situation. The signifier card is challenged by a Page of Rods. Okay, so who's the Page of Rods? I'd like to say that might be Trump. There's a political immaturity here. And again, I go to why he called Nancy Pelosi a third-rate politician. This is a political mistake that he's made. That's my feeling, okay, at this point in time. The Queen of Cups is coming through with this energy, and she's firm. She's got something to reveal. Let's have a look at what's in the past, the High Priestess. So I would say some of these Republicans are not sleeping at night. They're not sleeping at night since this phone call, because it sidelined everybody. Okay, except perhaps Vladimir Putin. We've got in the sky the Fool, new starts, starting something new here, embarking on another journey, but also the Fool is the Fool, and the Fool's got to be careful. So would I sort of rely on the Fool at this point? Fool's a little bit unproven. The Five of Pentacles, loss, that's in the immediate future. Let's have a look, sitting next to that Page of Wands. The Seven of Rods are having to defend themselves. We're talking about the Republicans here, the senators. How are they going to vote? Defend themselves from the American voters. This is quite a powerful depiction of the Ten of Cups, which is my card for families, for doing the best thing for the constituency, not doing the wrong thing, doing the best thing. They're having to defend themselves. That's why 100 and whatever it was, 20-something Republicans in the House voted to condemn Trump. We've got the hopes and fears, the secrets. And so again, when you've got a mobster-like rule thinking that he's a monarch, there's also he had help to get to that point, and this is in the fear spot, that that things he might have things on others that have supported him in the past. So this again, if you look back at how the mafia or the Russian mafia rules, you get some indications into Donald Trump. The outcome is the Emperor, but I'm going to wait to make a judgment on the clarifying cards. This is control, retaining control, and this is what I feel the Senate might do is step up and do something to retain control. But we have the Magician actualizing something into reality, and we've got the Devil. Okay, I'm going to get some clarifiers there. What's happening now? We've got the Knight of Swords. That's something. The house is burning. Taking action. Going in to fight the good fight, taking action against Trump, in the house, the King of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups, these new starts, new emotional starts. However, I'm seeing Trump's hold over the Republicans, what he's got on them, is going to be quite important. But who is the Emperor here? The Emperor trying to control the Devil, the Devil card. I think Trump called Erdogan the Devil as well. So let's get some clarity around this Emperor. Is this Emperor Trump, or is this Emperor the Senate or the Congress trying to retain, not trying but retaining control, trying to rein this devil, shall I say, in Trump and Erdogan. Let's have a look. The Emperor card. Okay, Ten of Rods. Okay, so it's hard work. The Six of Pentacles, giving and receiving help, but giving help. That's also loans and debts, and we've got victory. Okay, gosh, I hope I'll have to pull another draw on this, because it's not giving me a clear answer as to whether the Republicans are actually going to do something in the Senate. Whether that Emperor is for Trump, it's going to be hard work to do it, but there's also going to be a victory there. Republicans now, I think probably where I'm going with this is Trump again has vetoed bipartisan legislation around his emergency declaration to rein back the money. Of course, that was declared illegal, unlawful. Rein back the money to the military. Trump has vetoed a legislation that would have taken that money away from the wall now. Now you've got this really, really strong tussle between Republican senators and Trump. Okay, so that's why the Magician is there. There's a lot of manipulation going on. The Devil's there, and so is the Emperor. Okay, so let's have a look. Will Republicans successfully hold Trump? 3 cards. Will Republicans successfully hold Trump to account on Syria? Will Republicans successfully hold Trump to account on Syria? Queen of Cups, she was the foundation of the reading. The Fool also came in the potential future, which is a yes card. And we've got the Page of Pentacles, money, okay. What's at the base of the pack? The Page of Wands, this political immaturity, the Democrats, and of course we've got the King of Rods, the lawmakers, and the Chariot. Finally, the Chariot. Look. Are they going to successfully rein Trump in on Syria? Yes. Okay. I think it's possible at this stage that they will. But, you saw those cards. Whenever we read on the Republicans, we get the Magician, the Trickster. Okay, so let's take a look at his meltdowns and the Tower card. how, is Trump able to hold this together, because he's just getting more and more bizarre. He called the Kurds, likened the Kurds to ISIS. Yeah, well, tell me about Trump's mental state at the moment. Tell me about his mental state. Okay, so what I'm feeling able to perceive some feelings, is that he's so belligerent, he's so overly emotional, that it's almost like a wound. It's almost like a raw wound with him, and so he's liable to lash out. So what's got him that riled or that wounded? It's like an open sore. It's the Republicans. It's their condemnation of him. How's Trump feeling? Tell me about how Trump's feeling. Okay, the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is having to do considerable work to mend the loss. Okay, the Five of Cups, loss. And we've got the Two of Swords, decisions needing to be made, a compromise, perhaps a crossroads. The Ace of Rods, we've got new starts. So the Eight of Pentacles could be legislation. That's interesting. And it could be around Trump achieving his goals beyond just Syria. There are other legislative agendas coming into this reading. Information coming forward, the Page of Swords. I can see the whistleblowers here. And we've got the Four of Swords, retreat. Okay, how's he feeling? Well, the Four of Swords is sickness as well. He's reviewing things. He understands that the Queen of Wands, that he understands these Republicans are very inspired and passionate about this, and the Queen of Swords is the Democrats, Pelosi. The fact they've sided with Pelosi and the Democrats is really pouring salt onto that wound. He might retreat. That's what I'm feeling. Pelosi's right. It's really rocked him. Okay, let's go to Brexit. I wonder with Trump when he gave we're still on Syria, Erdogan the green light, whether he realised that it would all go to, go upside, go pear shaped on him in the way that it has. Did Erdogan betray him in some way? Just let's draw a couple of cards there, and then I'll move on to Brexit. Did Erdogan betray Trump in some way? Maybe he gave him authority to do, or the green light to go so far, and then Erdogan took it much, much further. Did Erdogan betray Trump in some way? Erdogan betray Trump in some way? The Hanged Man is certainly... It could be that he was only supposed to go so far. The Knight of Cups. Oh dear, Erdogan, that's what he did with Trump. He seduced him. Seduced him, isn't that an awful image? And we've got betrayal, theft and betrayal. Yeah, he did. He did betray Trump. And we've got the Justice card here. And loss for Trump. And the Hierophant, the government, and we've got the Queen of Swords. That's interesting. Okay, so look, this is such a cesspit one. One has to wonder about everything. It looks like Erdogan was only supposed to go so far, and then he went a little bit further. Okay, let's go to Brexit. Let's get off these corrupt mob-like players and go to the next possible Trump ally in Boris Johnson. Let's have a look at Brexit. We'll be quick here. Is Brexit going to go ahead? Is Brexit going to go ahead? Is Brexit going to go ahead? It's going to go ahead. The Devil. The devil will be in the detail, is what that card is telling me. The devil will be in the detail, and this is what's going to shock. If it does go ahead, this is what's going to shock people in the UK. They didn't understand exactly what they were signing up to. The Knight of Pentacles challenged by the mercenary, reward for effort, income sources, patience, reliability, stability. Okay, there's something around what in that deal that's going to take from the UK's economy in ways that nobody's going to like. Okay, the Nine of Pentacles being the foundation of the reading, having enough financial resources to be independent or to meet your needs. Okay, so there's something around, but this could also be Britain's financial independence away from the EU. The Three of Swords, loss in the past, divorce basically. The Two of Swords, it's not a done deal according to these cards. This is a crossroads. This is heavy forces on this particular situation. This could even be the English Channel here, and turning the back and walking away. But this carries a price, is what that is saying. It carries a heavy price. The Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment, celebrating. Who is that for? Remainers or leavers? The Nine of Rods, of course, that would come forward with this battle weary, fatigue. How long's this been going on? I always thought that that the UK was far too divided on Brexit for this to even work. Even if they do leave the EU, that will lead to consequences such as Scotland could even want its independence, and this appears to be what is going on. It's just heavy lifting at this stage. The hopes and fears, this quick seduction that could end in tears. And I do feel that's kind of like a card for Boris Johnson. And we've got strength and endurance. Strength and endurance. Justice will be done. And unfortunately, we've got monetary loss. Let's have a look. We've got the World at the base of the pack, endings and new beginnings. We've got loans and debts, and it's around money. And of course, we've got the Tower card and the Three of Cups. So without drilling down on this, strength and endurance could mean that that they will stay. But if they do leave, it's very clear from that reading, there's going to be the kind of loss, monetary loss that nobody was anticipating. And that could be what stops it in the Parliament. With those Three of Cups, we could have the opposition parties aligning to block the deal based on what it would do to the UK economy. Will parliamentarians block Brexit? Will UK parliamentarians block Brexit? Will UK parliamentarians block Brexit? Okay, temperance, balance. They're going to want to see a more balance. There's something in the detail that they won't like. This is a stalemate yet again with the Seven of Cups, and we've got the Queen of Cups. Things coming out again that information coming out. Information that they will need. So Johnson could be trying to block in the full lot of restrict information from coming out. And we've got the Three of Rods. This is around the trade deals, I feel, and the detail. Okay, so all these cards are coming out again. We've got Boris Johnson, the Emperor. The Moon card, keeping secrets, and then full illumination. So it's not looking like an easy passage for the UK yet again to leave the EU. There will be things in the detail of the deal that the parliamentarians won't like, and neither would UK people either. Okay, Canada quickly. Let's see what's going to happen in the Canadian elections. Previous readings on this, it's a very close battle. Obama has endorsed Trudeau. It's now not the time to have another populist leader aligned with Trump in Canada. It's the time for a liberal democracy to be I guess, reinstalled in Canada, despite what you think of Trudeau. let's have a look. Will Trudeau win the Canadian election? Will Trudeau win the Canadian election? Will Trudeau win the Canadian election? Yes. The Ace of Swords, well, that's a signifier card. It's also new starts, but it's also a yes. Challenged by a lot of people want to move on. That's they want to move on from this, I guess, campaign because it's been quite dirty, I feel. But also there are a decent percentage that want to move on from Trudeau. Okay, let's have a look. The Ace of Cups, new starts, but also two yeses here. The Knight of Rods, a campaign taking action in the past for change. Crossroads, and this is what leads me to, because this is something that comes forward in time, this is the potential future. The election result may not be known straight away. The Six of Cups in the immediate future, going back to the past. The Five of Rods right now, this is the division and the campaign itself. And we've got the environment around the Six of Rods, the victor, victory card. Okay, so it's the dirty campaign in order. This is what we saw in the Australian election, the dirty campaign in order to win the election. Hopes and fears, disappointment. And we've got the Queen of Swords. That's interesting. I feel that this will be a win for, a very close win for Trudeau. The Knight of Swords, truth coming out, and the High Priestess, judgment, the government. Okay, so let's see what's at the base of the pack. Another yes card with the Chariot. The Eight of Rods, things happening very, very quickly. There could even be something else come out in the days before the election. Juggling, and of course the I feel this is Trudeau, and the Sun card. Okay, look, it's I think with that Queen of Swords, I would associate more so with Trudeau than with Andrew Scheer. But I feel something else is even going to drop in the days before the election. The result might be so close that it may not be known straight away. So very, very, very close. And so my readings have not changed. I feel that it will be just a very close win for Trudeau. I hope I'm right. It doesn't go the other way. Because straight away there would be the White House visit, and things would change then in Canada. Canada would then become, Andrew Scheer would then become Trump's ally, and you would start to see the things that have changed in America. Some of that those policies would come through into Canada, and I do believe that Canadians don't want that the majority of Canadians have seen what's gone on in America, and they don't want that for their country. So I feel Trudeau will be granted a very, very close victory. He might even, I don't know what about the coalitions there, it might be so close that if there is another party led by a woman, and I don't know Canadian politics very well, there might even have to be some kind of deal struck to form a government. All right, but I do feel Trudeau will eventually still be the Prime Minister of Canada. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for tuning in, viewers.